Then a strange glow appeared in the garden, and magical stars shone around Cinderella's head. To her surprise, it was her fairy godmother. Cinderella dried her tears and felt happy at last. Cinderella's fairy godmother waved her magic wand over a pumpkin. "Bibbidi-bobbidi-boo!" she sang, and the pumpkin became a beautiful coach. Then, before they knew it, Gus, Jaq, and 2 of their friends were turned into 4 proud white horses. Major became the coachman, and Bruno was transformed into the footman. With a final wave of her wand, the fairy godmother dresses Cinderella in a magnificent ball gown and sparkling glass shoes. As Cinderella stepped into her carriage, her fairy godmother gave her a warning. "You only have until midnight," she said. "On the last stroke of 12, the spell will be broken." The prince noticed Cinderella the moment she entered the palace. He thought she was the most beautiful girl he had ever seen. Taking her hand in his, he led her to the dance floor. It seemed as if they had been dancing only minutes when Cinderella heard a clock chime. It was midnight. "I must go," cried Cinderella, racing out of the ballroom and down the palace steps. She ran so fast that neither the prince nor the Grand Duke could catch her, but she lost one of her glass shoes along the way. Cinderella jumped into her coach just as the Grand Duke found her shoe. At the last stroke of midnight, the coach turned back into a pumpkin, and Cinderella found herself dressed in rags once more. Then she noticed she still had a glass shoes. She looked up into the sky with a smile. Hoping her fairy godmother could hear, she whispered, "Thank you for everything." The next day, news spread that the prince was madly in love with the mysterious young woman who had lost her glass shoes. By royal decree, it was decided that the girl whose foot fitted the glass shoe would marry the prince. Cinderella's stepmother was determined that either Drizella or Anastasia would be the prince's bride. She did not want Cinderella to try on the glass shoe in case it fitted her. She locked Cinderella in her room just as the Grand Duke and footman arrived at their house. Anastasia and Drizella took turns to try to squash their big feet into the tiny glass shoe. But it was no good. It would just not fit. "If there are no other ladies in the household, we will bid you good day," said the footman. But Jaq and Gus had managed to get the attic key from the stepmother's pocket and free Cinderella from her room. Just as the Grand Duke and footman were about to leave, Cinderella called out from the top of the stairs, Your Grace, please wait. May I try on the shoe?" Cinderella's stepmother demanded that Cinderella not be allowed to try on the glass shoe. The Grand Duke ignored her, but as he approached Cinderella, her stepmother tripped him up with her cane. The shoe flew into the air and shattered on the floor. But Cinderella reached into her pocket and brought out the other glass shoe. The Grand Duke took the shoe and placed it on her foot. It was a perfect fit. Soon the bells of the palace rang out on Cinderella's wedding day. The King and the Grand Duke smiled as they watched the happy couple get married. But no one was happier than Cinderella. At last, all her dreams had come true. She could live happily ever without her wicked stepmother, Drizella and Anastasia, ruining anything ever again.